one of the most profound questions to ask yourself is, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Today, I want to share with you some highlights from Chapter 10 in the book I wrote called An Insider's Guide to Business. It's available on Amazon. All proceeds go to charity, a mental health charity that helps people prevent self-harm and prevent suicide. It's called To Write Love in Her Arms. So all the proceeds from this book go there. So I would encourage you to go to Amazon to buy An Insider's Guide to Business. But I want to talk about Chapter 10 today. And the title of that chapter is The Real They Don't Teach in Business School. My experience in getting my business degree, my MBA, is that so much was based on theory and so much was based on actuary tables and these pro formas and everything was going to go to plan. And in business, I can tell you, nothing goes to plan the way you think it's going to. And that's okay, because we stay nimble and we keep our knees bent as strong business leaders so that we can adjust on the fly. And I don't want to discount planning and having a rock solid pro forma and making sure that we've run various scenarios, worst case, best case, and everything in between. But I'd love to share with you the question I probably get asked most. And that's by people that are in corporate America or in a position and they want to go off and start their own business, or they want to buy a Rockbox Fitness or a Beamlight Sauna. They want a franchise. They want to start their own bakery, whatever it may be. And they're asking me, because I left corporate America and started my own businesses, how do you know when it's time? How do you know? So many people have decided to start their own venture and decide to take control of their destiny. But this story, I think, is very important for you to hear. There's 4 frogs on a log, 4 frogs sitting on a log. One of those frogs decides to jump off. How many frogs remain on the log? Most people would answer 3, but the real answer is 4, because deciding is not taking action. And too many people say, I've decided to start my own business. I've decided to lose weight. I've decided to improve my relationships. I've decided to eat better. Well, that really hasn't changed anything. It's only actions that will make a difference. It's only taking actions towards that. And something that they don't teach in business school is how important, how outsized of an importance taking action is over all of the planning in the world. So many people plan their way to never changing and never taking that chance on themselves and betting on themselves. And I think it's because that just takes courage. And they don't teach courage in business school. It's something that you have to summon on your own. But I will tell you that one of the most profound questions to ask yourself is, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? We always wait to have children when the time's right. Yet when you have children, you realize there's never a right time. There's only the time that you decided to have children. But children bring amazing gifts and benefits to our life. And we have to make unbelievable amounts of sacrifice to raise a child. And we're forever vulnerable when we have children, right? But we still take that risk. We take that chance because we know it will bring us more in the long run and in the short run. And owning a business and owning and operating your own business, I look at as the same way. It's almost like you have these children that you love with your entire heart. And it's never easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. But the question of what are you waiting for should be one that you ask yourself when you're determining when you're finally going to jump off that log and take action, not decide, but actually take action. 99% of what we worry about never happens. And so usually we'll run through 100,000 different scenarios in our brain and everything that can go wrong, instead of asking, what if it all goes right? What if this all goes right? Even if it's incredibly hard, and it's an uphill battle, what if this all goes right? How often do you ask yourself that question? And I know I can get better at asking myself, what if it all goes right? Because it's so easy to be programmed into a negative frame of mind, especially in today's world. Something else that I love that I write about in this chapter is people, again, talk about what they've decided to do. They talk about what they're planning to do, what they've prepared to do. But your actions are speaking so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. So many times people use words to describe what they're going to do when they should show with actions what they are doing. And so I love that saying that your actions are speaking so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. And that applies to every aspect of your life, no matter what your current goal is or what situation you're trying to break out of or improve. It's all about action. Again, they don't teach that in business school, but all of the planning and preparation, which again is important, is nothing without execution. And it kind of gets down to burning your boats. And we've all heard the story. 1519, Cortés comes to Mexico and overtakes the Aztecs, and he's completely outmanned, but he burns his crew's ships. He burns his ships so that his soldiers and his crew can't return to Spain, and they have to fight and win. And they did. And they conquered the Aztec nation. And what's crazy is that he had to burn his boats to get the result that he wanted. You may have to burn your boats to get the result you wanted. And yes, it's scary. I'll never tell you it's not. But that is one of the critical differences that makes an outstanding business person incredibly successful versus somebody that has one foot in and one foot out, and then they wonder why their business failed because they'd never fully dedicated themselves to that. And there's a feeling, a pressure that comes with burning your boats that can be put to use, and that pressure can create diamonds. But again, you have to know that you have to jump, you have to take that action, and then don't leave yourself anything for the swim back. Put it all on the way out, because you will find a way to get back. You will find a way, but you don't want to plan that way because then you'll be planning for failure. You can't eliminate the fear. And so people will ask me, well, how did you get over the fear of leaving, the salary that you had and stock options and all that to start your own businesses? And I will just tell you that everything I wanted was on the other side of fear. I just had to summon the courage. I've had somebody on this podcast, and Garrett Gravison, and he talks about 10 seconds of insane courage. And that's all you need. You need 10 seconds of insane courage to make that decision so that you can jump and take action and start executing. You can adjust the plan on the fly. You can adjust to market conditions. You can adjust to cash needs. But what you can't adjust is the business if you haven't started it. So you have to go for it, right? You have to go for it. I would say that because you can't eliminate the fear, you just have to get past it. You also cannot predict the future, but you can have great mentors. I can't say enough about having find mentors, pay for mentors, pay for coaches, pay for advanced learning, additional courses that will get you ready, and then continue to do that as you open and you're building your business. Too many people, they'll read a book or they'll buy 7 business books and they sit on their shelf and they never look at them. Well, those do you no good. That's like sitting on the log. You've got to jump. You got to crack the cover on that book and read it and reread it and underline it and dog-ear it, and then take that knowledge and apply it to your business. Too much we read about and we think about, but we don't do. And this is all about the doing. Abraham Lincoln is quoted as saying, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." I don't think I could have said it better, and he is Abraham Lincoln after all. But the best way to the best way to predict the future is to create it, because you're in control. You're in control of your own destiny. You're betting on yourself. But you have to be the one that creates that. So one more quote, Shawshank Redemption, probably one of the best movies ever made. Get busy living or get busy dying. Get busy living or get busy dying. But don't decide to jump off that log. Jump. Burn your boats and build your destiny. Good luck. Thank you for tuning in to the ThriveMore podcast. Don't forget to take a look at the show notes for any of the resources that we mentioned during the podcast. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you have access to the latest and the greatest. You can connect with me on any of the socials at Real Roger Martin. And be sure to check out our website, ThriveMoreBrands.com. There you'll find information on the brands we support and information on franchising. Thanks again for tuning in.